Alaska Cares was born out of the need for a different response for children when there are allegations of child sexual abuse. The goal is to make sure kids aren't re-traumatized by the system that's supposed to protect them.
The Child Advocacy Center is focused on children. We work as a multidisciplinary team to ensure that the child is comfortable and can tell their story, and everybody can be present to hear it.
Before a place like Alaska Cares, a child would be interviewed over and over again by a teacher, the DFYS or OCS worker, police officials, and all that does is make the child go through that abuse again and again and again.
We are the agency that tries to maintain all the other parties to help them focus on what's in that child's best interest.
It is all centered on the child, and if we all need to slow down and wait for that child to tell their story, we slow down and wait for that child to tell their story.
The disclosure process isn't an easy process for a child. So you know it happened, but they're not able at that point to talk about it. This is called the talking room. This is where kids come and have what's called a forensic interview. The child has information that the interviewer needs. So we need to allow the child to be able to tell us that information without feeling intimidated. Sometimes children are told not to tell. They're told that it's a secret. They're threatened. There's a lot of shame involved in having been sexually abused. It's easier for adults to believe that a child will lie than to believe a child is sexually abused.
Just to say I believe you and I'm proud of you, I can't explain the relief that I see on a child's face.
If there's been evidence of sexual or physical abuse, the evidence is forwarded to the Anchorage Police Department Crimes Against Children Unit, and they take the proper steps to ensure that the perpetrator in the end goes to jail.
We see kids for whom violence is the norm. I've had a child say to me, as I was, documenting these horrific bruises all over him, he says to me, "Oh, these are minor injuries. They'll go away in no time at all." For that child, violence has been normalized, and that's not where we need to be.
This is the polar bear exam room. We try and make it as comfortable and safe as possible for kids, which is why it's decorated the way it's decorated. There's stuffed animals everywhere. It's part of the healing process for them to be able to have that exam and for the nurse practitioner to say to them, "You're absolutely normal."
Everyone has their role in the picture. The police are there to investigate crime, and Office of Children's Services is here to protect children, but it's also my strong belief that parents need someone just to listen to them.
It's a family issue, and it's a trickle-down effect, and without a place like Alaska Cares, it would just happen over and over again.
Each and every day, people who work at Alaska Cares are faced with some of the darker sides of our community, and they spend time bringing these children back so they can be active parts of our community in the future.
If we keep our kids safe and we keep them protected and we teach them how they deserve to be loved and cared for, there are so many issues we wouldn't be dealing with.
Child sexual abuse really is something that everyone hopes to turn a blind eye to because it's something that's ugly, and it's not something that most of us want to think is a reality, something that's happening to kids. But it's that kind of silence that lets it keep happening.
That's where Alaska Cares comes in, but that's also where our schools come in. That's where everyone comes in, and every adult needs to stand up for all children.
My piece in this huge puzzle is just to do the best I can to make sure that kids are safe so they don't fall into the system and they don't have to go into foster care and they don't have to go to jail or any of that kind of stuff. So they can just live their lives and be kids like they're supposed to be.
Many children do ask, am I ruined now? Will God not love me anymore? And to be able to sit down and tell them that God loves you. God will always love you.
The amazing, beautiful children that walk through the door every day are what keeps us going and what allows us to come to work every day. People ask me all the time, how can you do that job? And my response is, how can I not do that job?